Hey guys, so welcome to Monstaliner Metallics Part 2. We're going to be doing a few more tests with the Monstaliner with the metallic powders today, and we're actually going to put a little bit on speakeasy here. So stay tuned, it's going to be fun. Okay guys, so Monstaliner sent me another set of their awesome product. They actually sent me 3 of these quarts to play with today. And then they sent me this primer because I'm going to test out how these metallics work with a primer of a similar color underneath them. Because my goal is not necessarily to tint the metallic with some of the tint. I don't really want to do that. I really want to be able to load the liner with metallic powder and then lay it over a similar color so I get the most metallic bang for my buck, so to speak. So we're going to be doing a couple of different things. So I actually got a question on YouTube in my first video from Cultivate Your Curves, and she's talking about, can you get a smooth finish with Monstaliner? And can you turn this into a pearl top coat? So that's something I'm also interested in finding out. So we are going to explore that today. But I will say that if you are doing a metallic, all the metallics that I did in the last video, they all are pretty flat actually. They level pretty well and they smooth out, and they're a much flatter finish texture-wise than your regular Monstaliner. So let's do some mixing. Let's get into it. And we're actually going to put a little bit on the bus today too, because I also need to see how Monstaliner reacts with metallics in it on an actual vehicle surface. So we're going to test a single fender of our bus today, but we're going to find out if it'll work. So let's go. Okay guys, so with the epoxy primer, you need to use a different roller. You don't use the rollers that come in the package that's specifically for the liner. You're going to use a regular little microfiber paint roller for this. I'm using a very small one because I'm doing very small spaces today. But if I was doing this, I'd probably get like a slightly larger one just to help get the primer put on a big bus like ours. But let's go ahead and get this mixed up with the tint. I'm going to be using the tint called Copperfield, which is a nice coppery brown. That's going to be my base tint. And just for the lady that asked the question about using it as a top coat, that's a shimmer top coat with some protection, I'm going to be doing a gold flake with some of the liner too over the white base that I have over here on this metal. And just so you can kind of see how a shimmer top coat might work. The one I'm using has mica flake in it versus like a pearlescent, but you can also get pearlescent with mica flake. I personally thought on the last test that the mica flake was really nice. It created a kind of a sparkle effect, more of a glitter type effect versus a metallic shimmer. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, then, you know, hopefully this will work out for you. So let's kind of get some stuff mixed up, huh? Okay guys, so while we're waiting for the first ones to dry, I'm just gonna say that tinting a primer looks extremely promising right now. I have copper and the bronze dust and the coal copper and the gold. I'm gonna put an image up for you real quick. First coats, I have the primer underneath this side. This is the copper with the bronze dust. This is the loaded copper. This is just the gold dust one. This is gold dust, copper with bronze dust. So as you can see, they seem to be covering really well. What you can't see is how gorgeous they look on camera. The metallic is definitely there. It's showing up really, really well. And I'm very, very excited to see how it looks on the bus. So while those testers are drying, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and put the primer that I tinted with Copperfield, which turned into kind of a soft brown. We're gonna go ahead and go outside, prep the bus, put that on the bus. We're gonna show you exactly what we're doing there, and we're gonna get that loaded up because this looks so promising that I am definitely gonna put a little bit of copper on the bus today. So we're very excited. Okay guys, so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be installing a little bit of this liner on the bus today, just as a tester. Now, since I know that I want to two-tone my bus, and this section here will be black, I'm gonna do our tester, since we have a very, very small amount of primer, I'm gonna do our tester on this front section of the bus here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start prepping that. I'm gonna be removing this or taping it off, one of the two, depending on whether it has bolts or not. And we're gonna go out as far as we can and get as much of the primer coverage as possible. Now this is a fiberglass hood versus a metal for the rest of the bus, but it should work out just fine. And I'm excited to see what happens. So let's get prepping. So we have the primer on, tinted primer, we put the Copperfield in there. So it's showed to be a really, really good base on our little tester. So I'm gonna go ahead, instead of wasting this beautiful quart of copper liner that I have, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the bus and we're gonna get to see exactly what it looks like on a vehicle. Let's go. Okay, so as you just saw from those clips, we accomplished exactly what we wanted to accomplish today. We have a definite metallic effect Monstaliner. We also have the option to do a shimmer top coat. I'm going to call it a shimmer. I don't know what else to call it. With the mica flake added to the epoxy. I will say that the metallic powder itself, if you put enough of it into your gallon or your quart that you're covering, you can cover an epoxy primer with it, and that will help it cover and help it be more opaque. Keep in mind that this stuff is thinner, and if it's a darker color shimmer, I would say that adding in a teaspoon to a tablespoon of actual tint into that liner would give you a very nice opaque color. However, it would reduce a little bit of the shimmer. So that's a little, give and take. However, the level of the mixture that I did today definitely covered up the primer. There's no show through in the few areas on the bust where we do have a second coat. So I'm extremely, extremely happy with that. When it comes to the shimmer coat, however, the epoxy primers can fade and chalk and could cause a separation if they had enough of the UV through them. So my recommendation, if you want to do a shimmer coat, is to tint your primer to whatever color you need it to be, and then do one layer of tinted Monstaliner in the color that you choose, and then do one layer in the shimmer coat, and that will give you a really lovely kind of glitter pearl effect on that coloration. That would be my recommendation for it, because it is so thin and it is so sheer that it's really just a top coat. I rolled today as well. I would say that if you were to spray any of these metallics with a gun, you would get a very different texture. You'd probably get a very different pattern with the metallics, because metallics do move. I'm super happy that my bus actually in person has this near hammered copper quality about it, and that's really what I was going for. I would love to see these metallics done in different colors. I would love to see them done with different effects, and see how far that you can really push it. But I would recommend that if you're going to do a metallic, again, 2 coats at the level at which I mixed today is completely opaque. So do with that what you will. And we would just love to hear from you guys. Anything you guys would like to know, we can do a little special, or we can do a live on it. And again, if you have any questions about the Monstaliner or any of the techniques that I did in today's video, please leave a comment and I will address them in my next video. Thank you guys for watching.